Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Timberborn with me, Omega and Soggy Logs. So we have just successfully survived our first badtide, and Jesus Christ, look at how depressing everything is. We ran out of water, which is the biggest issue that we have. As far as food goes, we've also ran out of carrots, but we still have the berries that were supposed to be sort of a backup for, and mostly we gathered them for the antidote fabrication, but turns out we will have to eat some of those because we do not have enough food. As the bad tides are gonna get longer and longer, we will face this issue more and more. It's gonna be much better during the droughts, but the bad tides really are crippling for us. The reason is, and badtides not only disable a part of our water storage, but because of the way the water works, when we do not have water in this storage, the water from the upper reservoir actually seeps down into the land, corrupting and killing many of our trees. So you can see that this area is now all seen as corrupted. It killed all of the saplings there, and same thing here. So yeah, it's not good. The badtide corruption also killed all of the plants that are over here, and I'm not sure, due to the proximity of the bad sea, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure if we will ever be able to use this ground again until, anyway, a significant drought is gonna lower it, because then during a drought, of course, we will fill these with water, and we will fill the river with water, and maybe we'll see these as successfully hydrated. I don't know, it's a question. I'm not sure how the hydrodynamics work. It would, of course, work if we built some kind of reservoir over here. We could use it to flood this area with water, but again, I'm not entirely sure how to work with this. What we'll have to do eventually is just go down into the bad sea and carve a land for ourselves. It would be an easy way how to do it. We could basically just take this area and build a 2 or 3 high levee wall that would give us this area. But you can see how high it, or how steep it gets, because this area is okay, but once you get here, it becomes progressively more expensive. So this really comes down to having enough water for that. Sorry, not enough water, but enough wood for that. Yeah, we'll see. I could even fill it with water if I wanted to. It's a bit bizarre, but we'll see. Alright, so with the bad tide cleared, we can actually start letting the water through, and it's gonna hydrate all of our lands. Yeah, you guys are okay. I've done much better rationing the water this time. So I'm getting used to the current setup, so I think we're gonna be doing better, but we still need more water. We ended up with 330, as you can see, but as our population is gonna grow and as the droughts are gonna get longer, we will need more and more of these. So the current maximum storage is 780. I've already prepared land here to build more medium things here. I guess that's additional 600 water, so nearly doubling our current capacity, which is going to be good. Though I think that I'm going to tear down some of these smaller tanks, which will no longer be necessary in that regard. I've also built I've also cleared out this area, and we're gonna have, we have the, I built the lumberjack here. You can see that he can access this area, and we will be able to gather up these trees. I plan to actually build up a forester here, and forest this whole area as well, because it's very close to our reservoirs, and it's gonna make it much easier to actually plant it here even during extended droughts. But of course, increasing also the size of our reservoirs. I understand that this one will not be necessary during bad tides, but it will be necessary during droughts, and then we'll need the capacity, because droughts will probably get much longer than the bad tides when we get them. Anyway, I also plan to start collecting the berries again. We have 2 medical beds here for our sick beavers, so I'm gonna put a collection post here, and we have a collection post here which I'm gonna get unpaused again, and we'll start the collection soon. So yeah, the plan is clear. Now let's get back to making our island green and beautiful. Day 3 of the 7th cycle, and the game has just hit us with the second bad tide in a row, which honestly could be completely disastrous to our settlement. We had the minimum amount of 3 days, and another bad event is approaching. So our wet season, whatever you want to call it, is as short as possible. So we are really being tested here. Now, I'm really unhappy with the current setup, and I'm really worried about food, because as I expected, and I think I mentioned that during the first update of this video, this entire area is still contaminated. So we lost a large chunk of area where we could plant, and while we were able to remove some of the corruption over here through using, filling up and letting the water out of our reservoirs, this area is still polluted, and so is this one. So what I did is I moved the 2 other inventors over here to gain a little bit more planting space here. I've also demolished some of the water tanks because we finished one of the larger ones here, so we have a little bit more space here, but we'll need to figure out further ways how to improve our planting space, because we really do not have much food. We've ate about 100 berries, and we're only storing about 41 carrots right now, but the population is much larger than it used to be. So not only it's larger, but we have less planting space. So again, I'm really worried about water. Now, because we know what we're gonna deal with, I'll make sure that no more crops die during the bad tide, but if it's extensive or long, it is going to be, well, honestly, it can kill us. It can kill us. We are not in a great shape, and while, again, I'm trying to improve everything, we are just reacting, and the game is not giving us enough time to recover from the previous one. So let us hope that this one is going to be shorter or as long as the previous one, because I don't think we could take a 14-15 day bad tide right now. It would probably really destroy us. We'll see. Anyway, as I was mentioning before, we cleared out this area. I built a forester here, which already planted some trees, and hopefully that's going to increase our capacity. We're continuing building the upper level of the reservoir. I actually deleted the construction that we had here because I thought that having 2 half built rather than having 1 fully built is, nonsense. But yeah, we'll see. I'm also trying to think about ways how to make this thing work a little bit better. When we get to the same level of height in the upper and lower reservoir, I think I'm gonna put another sluice up on the upper level of the lower reservoir, and that will basically allow me to have it running like this all the time, and when I want to fill it, I can just keep it running out of there, and having some kind of like a overflow system in place to pardon me, have the river always filled. I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna deal with it, but I'm trying to figure out something that could work. But yeah, the plan is to finish up this level first, then extend this one, which is gonna be great. It's gonna give us way more space than the lower levels did, but again, it's gonna increase the evaporation zone. But I can deal with that by actually having this water filling the river immediately after the drought, and after I see that its level is going a little bit down, so that then we limit the evaporation again to only this smaller chunk, and then later on when we increase it even further, we will not care because there's going to be several layers below it, and that's gonna make it worth our time. Anything else that I would like to mention? I think that's all that we've done. Well, Again, food and water, food and water. So we're gonna have to build another one here, but I'm not sure if we're gonna do that. We first need to actually fill them. But yeah, the water system is really good. If we continue building it up, we can even build the fluid dump, which could make us use some of these tanks and some of the water stored there to refill the river, which would be another way how we can ensure that we will have crops running around the clock even during droughts. But yeah, for that we will need to increase the water storage extensively. But again, like, I mean, we already can hydrate or you know, avoid thirst with what we have, so anything extra that we build would be good. I was also thinking about introducing the large tanks, and while they have just insane capacity, much bigger than they are supposed to, because they have like 3 times 3, which is 9, and these ones are 2 times 2. So, you know, thinking about it, they should have about, so it's 600, 700, and they have 1200, so the capacity is better. The cost is also extreme. We could do the metal blocks, we don't have an issue with that, but the gears and planks are a little bit excessive and we just cannot afford it, not to mention that we do not have enough space. It's something that is really complicated, because we just need to clear out these areas, and that means we need to get into the bad water, but during the drought we'll be able to do that, I think. But you know, considering another badtide is coming, well, you get the drill. So the badtide has just started, and as you can see, it is a 9-day one. So that's something that we actually had, I think it's the same length as it was before. So at least that is a small mercy. We have fully filled the tank over here, or the reservoir over here. And as you can see, it actually managed to remove all of the corruption over here, which makes me really happy. Unfortunately, it does nothing for this area. We have a little bit of space here, but yeah, the corruption is just everywhere. So I'm not sure what to do with it other than actually go into the bad sea and push the bad water outside. Now, the lowest way we could do it is if we just went, I don't know, probably we would have to go like this, and this, and this. So we're looking at what? This is 1, 2, 3, about 30, 40, maybe 50 levees that we would have to build, which means in the speech of the numbers about 500 to 600 logs, which we of course do not have right now. I don't think we have any logs. Yeah, we don't have any logs stored, because we're continuing the construction up here all the time. But yeah, I mean, we're facing our second badtide. We, of course, need to make sure that we do not, die of thirst, or die of hunger. Starving to death is not conducive with a successful game. But apart from that, I think we are ready we're as ready as we can be. I actually decided to finish up the second medium tank, so our capacity now is 1290. And you can see that we got well above 900, and we're even gonna get a little bit higher, because we're still pumping the water from the river delta, whatever you want to call it. Nobody actually corrected me on that, so I guess it might be considered a river delta. So yeah, that's as far as we got in the 3 days. Well, I mean 6 days. All right, 3 days and then 3 days warning that it's approaching. But it's still the minimum amount of time that we could get for such a situation. Now, I was joking about the fluid dumps before, but I really am playing with that idea because, generally speaking, we really are not doing all that well when it comes to the reservoirs. The constructions are going much slower than I expected. We're gonna get hit by another badtide after this one. It will probably stress test us to our limit. I just hope that we will not break. I'll need to figure out some other ways how to extend the carrot fields. I'm planning to move the farmhouse here. I'm also planning to get rid of these farms. I was considering some changes to the way our paths work, so that we get the maximum amount of space, because we got a little bit. We got a little bit better on the berries, but that's because we harvested all of them, and now we have to wait 12 days for the next crop. So we really are dependent on the carrots for this bad tide. So let's hope that all is gonna go well. Anyway, we're gonna continue building this. I think some of the trees, yeah, some of the trees will be ripe soon, or you know, they will grow enough for us to start harvesting them. And of course, we're gonna use it to finish up the upper level and hopefully even the lower level of the reservoir soon, because you know that means more water for us. Yeah, okay. I guess the crops will be the next thing I'm gonna focus on. Day 9 of the 7th cycle, and we just ran out of the water in the river. So that's that. However, I'm gonna leave it a little bit. We can take at least a day of drought before we need to refill the river. That's how you ration water in this game. So basically you leave the crops for a little bit and then you just give them water. I'm gonna fill the river to the brink after that, so that it hopefully will stay for a couple of days, so we can grow the crops a little bit more before the next drought hit us. But considering we have less than 6 days left and we're still almost full, the only water that's left is the evaporation, so we evaporated about this much in 3 days. I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Now, interesting stuff that I wanted to mention is that we're better off on water than we were at the beginning of the bad tide. Food continues to dwindle, but I'm really hoping that it's not gonna get much worse and that we will not face, you know, complete starvation. What I'm focusing on right now is the construction of the reservoir. It's going slowly because the limiter is the wood storage that we have here, but you can see that we're gaining some logs now, so the construction is restarting again. In the meantime, I'm also making small improvements to the areas. We have just finished a floodgate over here, which will allow us to better regulate the amount of water that we have in the river. I'm going to tear down this dam next, and thus it will all be about this one floodgate over here. If we close it completely, theoretically the river should be able to be completely full. We'll see. I'll need to test it. The area here is a little bit hard to read. I think there will be no spillage. Yeah, I cannot show you that even, but let's hope that's gonna be the way. I'm also planning again to move the farmhouse into this area, move the lumberjacks, and change the way the paths are here, but I'm going to test if it's going to have any effect on the accessibility of the fields. But again, the limiter is just wood. Again, we're starting to get a little bit of it now, so we can restart the construction, but we really were low on it for quite some time. So yeah, I guess during the next update you will see me do that. The corruption, by the way, got a little bit worse here as the water level went down, so I guess this area for now is just gonna be off limits. It's gonna be a priority for the next episode, or I guess the next drought, to figure out what to do with it, because I really have no idea. Or we might just use it as something else. I'm even considering moving some of these lodges over here and use this area as a fertile planting ground. If not for crops, we could just place the berry bushes there. You know, that could also work to give us a little bit of food at least. I guess we'll see. Day 14 of the 7th cycle, and we have just survived our second bad tide. And I'll be the first one to admit it. We are not in a good shape. We are really not in a good shape. I really do hope that we're gonna get hit by a drought next, because I don't know if we could survive a longer bad tide than this one. It's just bad, man. It is just bad. So once the water comes in, I'll have to open this area so that it starts watering us, because we are completely out of water. But you know, we're good. It just ran out like a couple of hours ago, so it's not that the crops are in any immediate danger of dying. Who is in an immediate danger of dying is our beavers, because we have ran out of food completely. Now, it didn't happen a few days ago, it happened today as well. But the beavers are hungry. The beavers are hungry, and I have no food for them. So that is the bad news that we are facing here. So let's just get rid of this most dirtiest of waters. Alright, I think we can open it now. Yeah, they are hungry and there's no food. They are hungry and there's no food. Well, either way, I've done a number of things that we can discuss here to improve our situation. It's all first steps towards a better future, so let's hope that whatever we are going to do today is gonna save us in the future, as I feel like this is a little bit too close to a breaking point for me. I mean, not me, but the colony. Well, me as well, you know. I do not cherish seeing our beavers die, but the facts are, we have no food, we're doing relatively good on water, but we have no food. So what I've done here is I've taken some steps to alleviate that. First, when it comes to the food, I have moved the farm, as you can see over here, because we now finally had a little bit of spare extra wood. So that allowed us to get a little bit more planting ground here. I am further planning to get some more planting ground over here once we get the sunflowers harvested. We've already removed a little bit of the space dedicated to sunflowers, and it's dedicated to carrots, which are a basic food source. Basically, they give more food faster than sunflowers. It is an emergency solution, but it will work, hopefully. We have also planted this entire area, as you've seen before, and we have removed the road that was connecting here. Actually, you didn't see this one. The inventors were here, but I even got rid of this part of the path and planted there, and we've also gotten rid of this part of the path and planted here. It is still accessible for our farmers, so there is no issue, but it's, you know, additional dozen or so of tiles that they can plant at. So that is the good part. I'm hoping that this is going to be enough, because well, I mean, I cannot really think of many more ways how we could get better. We could delete this first row of tree plantations and just plant there. If, you know, we see that it's not enough, we can also start removing some of these houses, but I think that's at the very edge. Yeah, I think this is the edge, so they cannot access it now. So that's not gonna help us. Well, alright. Well, there really isn't much that we can do apart from making the plantation for trees shorter. But this is the things that I've done for food, so we'll have to see if it's gonna work. The next couple of days are gonna be critical to see what our food situation is. When it comes to water, the situation is better. You can see that we retained a decent amount of water in our tanks. We have managed to finish up the upper level of the reservoir, and we are doing very well on the lower level. We just have to continue building here so we get more of this done. We have also built, and that is... Alright, are you okay here? Yeah, we have built a triple floodgate here. Let me just close that so we fill this area. And this one is open. Alright, so it's gonna start overflowing outside. So we built a triple floodgate here, which will give us a little bit of extra storage space here. But the water spills out everywhere when we open it. Still, it is a little bit of extra water for us. We're gonna finish up this level hopefully before the next badtide. God, I really hope it's gonna be drought. Will come. And we have of course finished this part, which is the limitation on the lower level of the river. So we're doing relatively okay, I think, here when it comes to our water situation. Crops are coming in, carrots really grow fast, so I'm hoping that the starvation is not gonna happen again, but you can see that the beavers are starting to get really peckish, so let's hope that's not gonna be the bad situation. But as I mentioned, the population is at its max. We now have 44 beavers living, 41 adults and 3 young ones. And we have 9 extra haulers here. So I do not really believe, and that's with all of the pumps and, you know, lumberjacks working. It is... Goes this. Come on. So we don't kill our crops. But yeah, as I mentioned, actually it goes this one as well. Sorry about the micro. I don't want to, see beavers die. But as I mentioned, we have enough population now for every single plant that we have. Even if we build the entire extra chain with the paper mill and the antidote maker and the herbalist, that's just 4 or 5 beavers that we will need to take away from the haulers. We can also close some of these lumberjacks. That's going to give us additional space. So yeah, population-wise, we are not going to grow. I am not going to build any more houses. I'm actually even considering having less of them because this seems a little bit excessive and every mouth consumes resources. But other than that, I think we're really fine. We're also starting to build up a little bit of... Okay, we don't at this point, but many of the trees should be ready soon. Come on. Oh, there's one. Yeah, well, we'll see them grow relatively soon. Also here, yeah, they're growing. So we'll have a little bit more wood, which should allow us to finish all of our projects so we can weather additional storms. The food situation really is coming down closer to the water. If we have water, we can have crops running all the time without any issue, and we will not feel like there is a problem. So A, keep the food running. B, start pushing the bad water away next, because we really need to get back this crop. This might not seem like a large amount of land, but believe me, that is an insane amount of food. Like, each one of these could produce food for beavers. Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be enough. If we get this back, we will be good. So we're still hoping that the next thing we will see here is gonna be a drought and not another bad tide, because if the game is not merciful, it could really break us very soon. I mean, but then again, it's a challenge map, so what was I expecting, right? What was I expecting? Day 5 of Cycle 8, and we were just informed that the drought is approaching. And I'm really happy about that, because drought could fix a lot of our issues. Now, as you can see, we are almost done with this upper part of the reservoir. Unfortunately, I do not think we'll make it in time, but we will have this entire storage as an extra space for ourselves. So I'm gonna fill it, make sure that all of them are ready. And even if we do not manage to do this whole thing, we will be fine. We still have 62 logs, which is frankly not enough to finish everything, but it doesn't matter. We'll be fine. Now, my hope is that the drought is going to recede the bad water for so long that we can reclaim some of these corrupted, contaminated tiles by having clean water near. It should fix itself. It's going to give us additional space that we can use to plant. We'll have enough water, hopefully, to make it through, unless it's something like 20 days, which would be crazy, but the game is really hateful sometimes, so we'll see. Now, I started the construction of space here to get us our first large water tank, which will be a project for us to build during... Wait, no, not here. Which will be a project for us to build during the drought. It is super expensive. I will show you right now again while we're talking. It is 60 gears, we have 47, so we'll have to manufacture 13 more. It is 80 planks, we have 33, and it is 30 metal blocks, we have 53. But I believe that we will be able to finish it during the drought, and that's gonna pretty much double our capacity right now. We have 1290 and we'll have 2490. So that is something that I would like to do. I'm building this at the same time as we are building the levees, because the levees themselves cost logs, while this entire construction would be just planks and planks and, you know, metal and gear. So it's a different type of construction, and it doesn't limit us at all. Other than that, food-wise, we are still having some hungry beavers, but I think it is literally getting better. We have always a little bit of a storage, and then it goes away. The berries will be ripe during the drought, I think. Well, some of them very soon, some of them will take a little bit longer, so that is fine too, but yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how long the drought is, we'll have to see what kind of impact it's gonna have on us. But I'm a little bit optimistic, because I feel like we are fixing our issues. Yeah, you can see that, you know, the food keeps popping up. Beavers keep consuming it, but it doesn't really matter much to me. I think we will be fine. The important part will be the recession. I don't think that's the right word. The removal or withdrawal of the bad water from these towns, because we didn't have corruption here before, which leads me to believe that if we get this away and we can keep the water flowing, these tiles will heal and give us even more space for planting. It would be really good. But we'll have to see. Are we out of plants? No, we still have furniture. So what's up, guys? Just finish it. And I would just like to empty you, because we are gonna demolish you. Water is going up. Everything's looking good. Yeah, I mean, we're getting better at surviving these things. Progressively and constantly, things are looking up, but it's still a fight for survival. It's still a fight for survival, and I think it's gonna be for significant enough time. But the drought is not gonna kill, hopefully, all of these replanted trees. Some of these are gonna come very soon, so we'll have a lot of wood to work with. I would really like to build up a... Hey, 83, okay, so we're actually getting way more of these... log stored. Maybe I can hope. Maybe I could have a little bit of a hope. Because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could actually work, couldn't it? Still have 2.3 days. This one's almost 2. And the long shoe gives us 12 logs, so let's have that hold away. Well, we'll see. Anyway, this is all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We've been through a really rough time. No beavers died. They were just a little bit hungry for a little bit of time. But this drought could be a lifesaver for our colony. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, I'll see you in the next episode, where we're probably going to go through our longest drought yet. And we'll see what effects it's going to have on our island. And we'll certainly start clearing out some of this rubble. You guys were right that we could maybe plug this area if we could build 4 levees here, but we first need to get into this area, and that means swimming through bad water, and I'm not, you know, very ecstatic about that. So if the water could recede 2 whole levels, it would allow us to build towards here and making it happen. Otherwise I would contaminate and kill some of my beavers, and that is not something that I cherish as an idea. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one with more Soggy Logs. Till then, you guys take care.